Alright people, let's do this one more time. My name is Klaus the Atarangi. 2 years ago I was bitten by YouTube and since then I've been making videos for 2 years. I was the one and only leader of the Atarangi. Today we are talking about Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Alright, let's start with the spoiler-free section then. So let's start with the art style actually. Let's cover that first.
Yeah, the art style is great. They went for the comic book art style, I guess.
Well,
But-
no, they did. Buddy, they did.
Well, yeah, they did. But they implemented it in the movie very well because, like, I assume it's not just like take comic book,
Yeah, obviously.
film and it's done. No, like
There is a reason.
actually,
There's a reason
Yeah,
it took them several months to make the first 5 second shot they were happy with.
yeah, and like you can see that they like really had the time, got given the time actually by the studio and by Sony, I guess, to actually experiment and come up with something that worked, that looked good, before they actually, well, started the rest of the movie, right?
Actually, chap, stop for a second. In case the people are not getting the reference, we're dressed as villains and we're about to fight spiders.
Yeah.
I'm Doctor Doom and the other two are just generic villains.
I am generic face
There is
masked
probably
villain
a
number
villain
one,
that
and
looks
Simli is
like
just
this,
Simli.
like how I am.
Simli is a villain in real life as well. He's a villain to science and all of the biology and all
What
that
do
sort
you
of
mean?
stuff.
Are you
I
body
like
shaming me?
Yes.
You eldritch horror monster.
I like the stippling for the highlights and the cross-hatching for the shadows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when the out of focus thing in the background.
Yeah, out of focus they use chromatic aberration where 2 discolored versions of the image are shifted left and right. We'll show an image of that to make clear what we mean.
Yeah. I also like in a couple of the scenes they have some of the characters talking to themselves or talking about their surroundings and stuff.
Yeah, and they have the text
And like
boxes.
they have the text boxes appear, but they like stay up. They don't disappear. So like they
stay
actually
up,
move
but
into the
they get
background.
like left behind.
Yeah, which is like really cool because that's like really embracing that not the comic book style, right?
Yeah.
Like you can see that they actually just told the team make movie good,
Yeah,
And-
for the longest time.
and then went hands off.
Yeah, for the longest time, 3D animated movies have been trying to look like just Pixar movies, basically.
Yeah, why wouldn't
Now
you?
you're gonna see a lot of movies take influence from this one. Like, animating takes a while, so obviously you haven't seen it yet. This came out in 2018, and only now you're gonna start to see movies come out that took reference from this. Like,
Yeah.
Puss in Boot.
for example, took reference from this.
Puss in Boot.
By the way, for people who are confused.
I mean, when was the last
Puss in Boots.
release? Because that was like
That's like
years
way
ago, right?
long ago when
Like
Shrek was
2012?
I think so. You don't have to have seen the first one for the second one. Second
Puss in Boot.
is a standalone movie.
We'll watch it at some point.
Yeah, we'll
Yeah.
get there.
We get there when we get there.
Alright, back to our main movie. How about sound?
Sound. Well made.
Yeah, sounds like it.
Yeah.
The song choice is very good. It fits
The
the
song
character.
choice is very good, and the timing of the songs.
Yes.
There's one time that I want to go over specifically more,
Right,
a little
go
bit, but
Is that spoilers?
that's gonna be for the spoiler
Yeah,
section.
we'll get
so-
there when we get there then.
Yeah.
Alright, the story, just say if you think it's good or not. We'll go over it in more detail in the spoiler section.
Yes.
I personally, not having watched much of Marvel and well, the comic book characters in general, I really like the story in this one.
Yes.
Yeah, I really like
Yes.
it.
It references a lot of original source material for Spider-Man without just copying it, so it's pretty cool.
Yeah, and I don't feel like I need like 12 million movies of background knowledge before I actually know what the hell is going on, you know?
Yeah, it's self-contained, clean and simple. But if you have lots of background knowledge, there's a lot of fun references in it as well.
I'm doing a Mountain Punisher.
And that's the way to do it, in my opinion.
I mean, they have so many references in the movie that they even reference like memes and
Yeah,
stuff.
there's several meme references in it. We'll get to that in the spoiler section.
And I wonder if they're gonna do that for the second movie as well.
Probably.
I am excited for the second movie. I want to watch that when it comes out in cinemas.
Yeah, we will watch it in the cinema and just straight review it after that.
Actually go to the cinema with a notebook.
Actually might. Have to bring my most silent pen.
It's not always about the noise, Spider-Man.
Not always about the noise, Spider-Man. Alright, so here's the scoring sheet before we move into the spoilers.
Ow.
Alright peeps, we're free, we're in the spoiler section, we can say what we want.
Hey.
Hey.
Right, so talking about some of this stuff. Well, I mean, the start of him, you know, how he becomes Spider-Man, very well executed.
I love how nonchalant he's about getting bit by the spider compared to other
Yeah,
Spider-Man.
so like, his reactions to like stuff are great, right? Like, he gets bit by the spider and he just swats it and like knocks it off of his hand. At some point he like hits a rock and it just completely snaps in half and he's like,
No, Spider-Man
that's
just
new.
straight up killed the villain here.
Yeah. It's not always about the cards, Spider-Man.
We still have 3 cards left. I don't know what
Always
you're
about the
talking
cards, Spider-Man.
But also one of the things that I also like is, you know, in the school they kind of slam cut from class to class, but they like make certain words louder, and all of those are really like they're all meant to
Immerse.
make you realize that it's like a very stressful situation, I guess.
Yeah.
Or like information is coming in very fast.
I love that he tries to fail on purpose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then like teacher like, yay.
And the teacher's like, yeah, no, that's not gonna happen.
Denied.
Damn it. Spider-Man.
Damn it, Spider-Man.
Where are my pictures?
Yeah, Barry? You brought up a sound thing earlier, Barry. Let's not keep him hanging too long, shall we?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. So, when the original Spider-Man dies, and Miles is at home,
Peter Parker.
Well,
yeah, when the Peter
Spider-Man
Parker,
of that
when the
universe
regular
dies.
Peter Parker Spider-Man dies, and you know, he gets home, he asks his dad, you know, do you really hate Spider-Man, all that. But at some point you see him in bed, but you hear that the parents are watching television, and they're doing like a news flash about the death of Spider-Man. At that point, Scared of the Dark starts playing, but it already like starts when the news flash is starting as well. So
Yeah,
like
the intro
it kind of
starting.
has like an intro to it. So the really emotional scenes actually, like the emotional sound of the song actually hits when Miles runs out of the house.
Yeah.
And like that's one of those timing things where I'm like, wow, they really like paid attention to this.
We
you know?
can't show that though, because that's a copyrighted song and they'll execute us.
Yeah.
Execute order.
Kowalski, give him a movie timestamp for that in case they want to go look at that specifically.
Yeah, we could do that. Kowalski better not fail me.
That's one
Hey, that was-
Spider-Man.
That's one
That was
Spider-Man.
that was my largest Spider-Man ever.
Nice.
It was my
Alright,
smallest one ever.
there's a lot of Spider-Mans in this movie. Let's give our opinions about each of them real quick.
Okay, let's begin. Spider-Noir.
Spider-Man.
No, let's
Sure.
okay, sure. We'll begin with the oldest
need
one,
to
I
go in
guess.
order.
Spider-Noir.
Spider-Noir is good for jokes. He doesn't do a lot, he's just good for jokes.
Yeah, he's good for jokes. Everything's black and white,
For
you know,
him.
Yeah.
And
at
then
least to him.
and in this dimension, and he takes the Rubik's Cube with him.
Yeah. It's the same for Peter Porker, it's also just about the jokes.
Yeah.
Had to have
But-
some filler characters.
But I think both of them do exist in the comics, so
Yeah, they
I think so, yeah.
from Peter Porker. I am 100% sure he exists in the comics.
Yeah.
From Spider
Yes.
Noir,
I-
I'm not so.
I think Spider Noir does exist.
Kowalski, check that. Thanks.
And then we have Gwen.
Spider-Gwen, yeah.
Spider-Gwen.
She is in multiple things, I know.
Spider-Gwen is in a lot of stuff.
I like your introduction.
Mm-hmm.
Very interesting.
Mm-hmm. It's a universe where Peter Parker dies and she becomes Spider-Man.
Not so sure. She became Spider-Man, but she knew a Peter Parker.
Yeah,
as
she knew a
she had a
Peter
Peter
Parker.
Parker as a
Yeah,
friend.
but he dies.
Peter Parker
And he
was her
dies.
friend.
Yeah, Peter Parker never becomes Spider-Man in that universe, but he does
Yeah.
die and she becomes Spider-Man.
I love how every Spider-Man has something related to Peter Parker. You know, you got Peter Parker, then I think the Spider-Noir man is also Peter Parker.
Yeah, he's
Oh, yeah.
Peter Parker.
Peter Parker, and then his uncle was not Ben but Benjamin.
Yeah.
And then you've got
Penny Parker.
Peter B. Parker,
Yeah, Peter B. Parker. Which
just
is like
depressed,
the depressed Spider-Man.
the depressed Spider-Man. Then you've got Penny Parker, which is cyber anime girl.
Yeah. Which is a trio. So
From-
there's a sentient robot, a sentient spider, and a girl.
And they have a link to each other.
Yeah.
And the robot is built by her father,
Yes.
and she has a psychic link with the spider.
Yes.
Yeah, something like that. Interesting character. That one I'm not sure if she's ever appeared in the comics.
I don't know.
I
Kowalski,
thought
check.
she was original.
She feels original. Kowalski, check
Yeah.
it to be sure.
Don't want to spread inaccuracies.
Inaccuracies.
Yes,
Yeah, inaccuracies.
Simply out here coming up with voids.
yes. Fear my power.
Right.
And then I feel like we're still missing a Spider-Man.
Are we missing a Spider-Man? I don't think so. Well, Miles Morales, obviously.
Yes.
That's Miles. He gets more abilities because he's the second Spider-Man of his universe.
Miles always
So I
gets
guess
more
they
power.
upgraded the radioactive spiders over time.
I think he got bit. Well, this
Pretty
Miles
much,
got
yeah.
bitten by a radioactive spider from another universe. Because a spider glitched died.
Ah, that could be.
Another great detail that I loved in the movie, when they're doing the first time that they're doing the graffiti on the wall underground before he gets bitten.
Yeah.
Part of the graffiti, when they're working on the top of it, it actually goes onto the lens,
Yeah.
which is actually pretty cool.
That's a lot of fun.
I absolutely love that they went to, because it kind of makes you feel like you were actually there, I guess. It
I get this.
it makes it more personal
Yeah.
or something, you know?
The uncle is a lot of fun as well.
Yeah.
I like, while we are talking about the uncle, the scene when we discover he works for Kingpin, and then later he is holding Miles on the neck and he's like, oh, this is my nephew. And let's go of Miles, then get shot. Very powerful scene in my opinion.
Yeah, he gets shot. It's pretty cool scene. That's followed by an even more powerful scene that's excellently acted by who's the actor, Kowalski. That from the dead trying to tell Miles that something happened to his uncle.
Yeah.
That's my favorite scene in the movie.
Yeah. Well, one of my favorites.
Yeah.
My favorite scene in the movie is actually the leap of faith.
Yeah.
So, Peter B.
That's
Parker...
the best shot in cinematic history.
Yeah. Like, Peter B. Parker tells him, like, you know... well, Miles asks Peter B. Parker, how will I know if I'm ready? And Peter B. Parker says, you won't, it's a leap of faith. And then he goes back to the building that he saw in the comic books that he had been on previously.
Yeah, and
And
he
just jumps.
And then we get this beautiful upside down shot right here.
Yeah.
We'll show that. Try us, Sony. We'll fight you.
Go,
Yeah,
go
and
fight
like,
is trying to promote your movie.
I see this as like they do a similar shot in the original Ghost in the Shell.
We'll give you a
But-
snippet of that shot as well for comparison.
But this shot specifically hits a lot harder.
Yeah, it's better executed.
Well, one, it also looks more it looks better visually because
Also, they had
you know,
to distort all of the buildings to make it look good in Spider-Man.
Graphic-
Like, all of the buildings are a weird shape if you pay attention.
graphic quality has upgraded since then, but
No, I mean, in
It's
Spider-Man, all of the buildings have a weird shape on purpose.
yeah.
In that shot and none of the other shots. The web swinging scene in the forest, let's talk about that.
Yes.
So, for most of the early parts of the movie, Miles runs on twos, yeah. So
Yeah.
that means he's running half frame rate of the movie. And the other Spider people, they all run on ones, which is frame rate of the movie. And in the forest swinging scene, where Miles is actually learning to do the Spider-Man swinging, his frame rate slowly syncs up with the other Spider-Man.
I wonder
that.
how
That's
much.
a nice
I wonder
shot.
how much that detail will get messed up if somebody tries to AI upscale it.
Oh, that will go bad if they try to change the frame rate.
Yeah.
If they change the resolution, it's probably fine.
Yeah, but if they like try to go to 60 FPS, because you know gamers, but that will probably look like absolute garbage.
Yeah.
Just speed up the movie to 2 times speed. 60 frames per
I
second.
love how Miles before he's met the other Spider-Man, like he actually reaches out to the comic books,
Yeah.
and then like when he like figures out that he kind of has Spider-Man abilities, he goes to the store.
And he
get-
buys a suit from Stanley.
Yeah. And that entire scene is fucking hilarious.
It always fits.
It always fits. And they're like on the wall, no refunds or replacements ever. Like so aggressive.
I love the line delivery from Stanley there. Though.
Yeah.
Was it actually still Stanley? Was he still around when they filmed that?
I thought so.
Did
I'm
they
not
use
sure
an
anymore.
impersonator? Kowalski, double check me.
I think that might have been one of his last scenes.
Yeah. Might have. Because he was still around when they started the movie, but I don't think he was still around when they finished it. Kowalski, check me. I don't know. Alright. So what's next?
I don't know.
The fight in the finale with all the flying stuff is a lot of fun.
Yeah?
Yeah.
To see.
By the way,
That
we're
must
not
have been-
bringing up every good scene here. Go watch the movie if you want that.
Yeah.
I mean, we're missing a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
That's on purpose.
we are just
That's by
going-
design.
Yeah, it's a really good movie. Like
Yeah.
I had to watch it like 3 times in the last week to actually get everything that I wanted to say properly. Because I'm still seeing new details every time.
I can understand that, definitely. No, the finale looks great. It's a cool set piece where they're fighting.
Yes.
I like the not bad kid. It also became
Not
a
bad
pretty
kid.
fun meme.
There's multiple pretty fun memes in this one. though.
Yeah.
It's not always about the money, Spider-Man.
I mean, one of the scenes is when Peter B. Parker is eating the hamburger in the burger place, I think.
There's a lot of edits of that where he's just eating a gun. I don't know why.
That sounds hilarious.
I love in the post credits where they do the Spider-Man pointing at himself meme.
Yes.
I love in the like right before the credits where they do like a bunch of the memes.
Yeah.
And also, I also love how they referenced when the original Spider-Man, you know, when Peter Parker is saying his stuff like, you know, I'm the Spider-Man. And I did this, and we don't ever talk about this, and then it's like the Spider-Man dancing me.
Yeah.
I love this, that they put the Spider-Man sitting behind the desk as well. I love that Peter V.
great.
Parker is out of shape.
Yeah.
But
I
he's
love
still
how
like very good at being Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love how he says that in the forest scene. I, as the Spider-Man that still could. He, as a student who could. Just little less good.
Yeah. Looking forward to the next one.
Yeah.
And also looking forward to going into this scoring sheet right here.
We're talking about the scores now, Spider-Man. And the visuals, of course, get the highest values because, I mean, this was one of the first...
Yeah, it's like the whole point of the movie.
Yeah, like one of the first movies that wasn't just like, hey, we're gonna just do what Pixar's doing, you know?
Yeah, it looks like a comic
So-
book. It has the cross-hatching, the stippling, hands-drawn parts on the faces. Very nice.
Very nice. Absolutely love it. The characters and the design also got pretty high.
Yeah, got pretty high scores. We personally feels most of the characters played their roles well.
Yeah.
We feel like the Doc Ock character is a fun character, but it doesn't feel much like Doc Ock.
Yeah, I can't really talk about that much.
That's the only complaint we really have on the roles. Personality, everyone's recognizable, but I wouldn't say there's like huge standout characters.
And the design of the characters is...
They look like comic book characters. Nothing too like groundbreaking there. Design, it's a city in it. The graffiti looks cool.
Pretty much.
Graffiti looks cool.
Graffiti looks cool, and some of the other stuff, like, you know, when it's like, when the cities are merging, when the colliders are on, it's also pretty cool.
Yeah, that's a cool part.
It's pretty much normal. I
Okay.
guess.
Acting. We have no bad acting to speak of. There was one scene where we called out good acting, which was the dad talking to Miles.
Yeah, but one good scene and for the rest okay scenes doesn't make for a like, whoa, this is like the best thing ever, you know?
The acting is more than enough.
Standard action movie level. Yeah, but it is.
It's more than enough.
It is indeed pretty good. Story-wise, I mean, the story is pretty good. The tone and the theme really
Pretty
get filled
standard
out
Spider-Man
well.
story.
Yeah, it's a Spider-Man story. Like, the story isn't anything new, but the themes are explored very well and the tone is a vibe to be in.
Yeah, the plot is okay, but
Yeah, it's standard Spider-Verse stuff. Like, happens a lot in all of the cartoons and comics. So.
we've seen this before.
World building? Well, they don't focus on that pretty much at all. We learn pretty much nothing about the world Miles lives in, except that it has a big monster man Green Goblin.
Well, and some other stuff, you know, Kingpin is like the size of a double door, but whatever.
Yeah, but like about the world itself, we don't really learn much. Like, we don't know is there other superheroes, like, or anything like that.
There used to be a Spider-Man,
There used to be another Spider-Man.
then he died.
Oh, quickly go back to the acting. I would like to mention the line "It's a leap of faith" is delivered very well as well.
Yeah.
Anything else, chaps?
The directors before making this movie. It's a leap of faith, innit?
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 It's always about the leaping Spider-Man. Alright, we'll see you next time, chaps.
So, let's start here. With a simple greetings and a good evening.
Oh, with this simple.
Welcome to the atarangi.
Hey.
Okay.
Nah, I've got a good idea for the intro. I'm gonna try something. I've got no idea what I'm gonna say, but I'm gonna try to wing it. I've got a plan, but I've got no clue what the plan is.
Okay, cool. That
Well,
sounds
sounds
like a
like me.
regular video. That sounds like a regular Klaus thing to do.
That sounds like a regular Klaus thing to do.